Confession to make. There's too much Fleischer to watch all at once tonight. Can't do it. There was just too much. Over 3 hours. Over 3 hours of actual business. A lot. Breaking it up. 2 parts. One tonight. One tomorrow during the weekend review. So, Eileen, Mom, Dreams, how's everybody doing? I heard that's probably going to be in tomorrow's weekend review. Dig it out. I haven't cut that one up yet, but I have a feeling the weekend review is going to be a little chunk of the Webster docket that includes that situation from this morning, and yeah, see what happens. Man, good to see you. Oh, look, 8 o'clock. Say hello to everybody. It's that time. I'm gonna let the song play out. I love this song. But we're here. Time to do the show. Oh, hey, let me do something. Much better. All right. If you weren't here earlier, I made a slight admission that I got into the editing process of today's docket and realized there was a hefty, well, over 3 hours of hard business. So, as opposed to trying to make everybody sit through a full 3-hour docket call that's pretty much all business, I broke it into parts. Now, the way you're going to see things here tonight is not the way they happened in court today. So there's at least 2 cases where I brought their conclusions from the part 2 that I am saving for tomorrow and brought them into part 1. I don't know if that's making any sense to anybody. Basically, I brought some different parts of a couple of cases together, kind of make them whole for this part of the show. And we're going to see those as they happen. And then tomorrow, there's another set of stories to be told. Actually, tomorrow's set is even more interesting than tonight's set. But tonight's set is extremely. Anyway, yeah, it's 8 o'clock, guys. What do you say we get it started, shall we? I'm thinking that's a yes. I don't know what I'm doing though. Here we are.
Playing solo today?
So we'll get it out, so both out, so it's just beginning with Jeff.
Okay.
Today, but we're both here.
Hey, can you help me out? Yeah, we're gonna need to do some arraignments, so, Mr. Petoniak,
Good morning, Josh. How are you?
how are you? Happy Friday?
Thank you.
You have an arraignment?
I do.
Okay, let's get you done. Ready?
Let me bring my time back in. We've got it worked out with the state, so.
Okay. Who is it?
He is a Spanish speaker.
I've already requested it.
Bear with me. Let me get
Okay.
the translator, and then as soon as we get him here, we'll do it.
All right, thank
Yeah,
you.
for sure.
All right, Bueno, page 2.
Is that a Spanish speaker? Josue Bueno, you speak English?
Yes, sir.
Come on up. Good morning, Mr. Bueno.
Morning.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
On October 19th of 2024, officers observed and heard the defendant's motor vehicle strike the middle lane and begin swerving into lanes, trying to gain back its control at the 5200 block of Fairmont Parkway. Officers approached the motor vehicle to check on the welfare of the defendant, who is the driver and sole occupant. Upon contact, officers observed signs of intoxication, namely slurred speech and odor of alcohol in the breath on the defendant. The defendant did admit to drinking. SFSTs were conducted 6 out of 6 on the horizontal gaze nystagmus, 4 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and 2 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. DICs were read. The defendant consented to breath. The breath results were 0.125, 0.120.
Okay.
And this defendant is driver's license eligible, Judge.
Any prior DWIs?
No, Judge, no criminal history.
Okay. Mr. Bueno, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. You have a valid Texas driver license.
Oh, no, not currently, no.
Let me run the LCIC to be sure, Judge.
If you do not have a Texas driver license, you're not allowed to drive, and I am making that a condition of your bond. You must have liability insurance as well. Unless you have both, you're not to drive. If I find that you drive, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do
Yes, sir.
you understand?
Yes, sir.
You will be signing an affidavit with me today. This is a promise that you're going to make. I don't care what's going on in your life. You cannot justify getting in a car for any reason.
All right.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I see that he is eligible, Judge. He may not have one now, but it's not suspended.
Okay, get a license, get liability insurance, and then we will let you drive. I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. We're going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or kind of illegal drugs, I'll put you in jail. No more PR bonds for you.
Yes, sir.
How old are you, sir?
Just turned 21 last month.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a framer in a refinery.
How much money do you make a month?
Right now, 17 an hour.
Who do you live with?
My mother.
Do you pay rent?
Yes, sir.
How much do you pay rent a month?
350.
Okay. You may be able to hire a lawyer. I want you to start looking around. Okay. If you have any issues, come back and we can talk. But I mean, if you're making 17 an hour, you work full time, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're making what, $4,000 a month then?
Yeah,
Give or
around
take,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to qualify for an appointed lawyer. You have to be at the poverty guideline. And so, I mean, you're doing great, which is a good thing, but I don't think you necessarily qualify. So start talking around with lawyers. You need to do it quick. This is a DWI. There's a lot of timing requirements. So don't wait a month or two because you're only hurting yourself.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna have you sign this affidavit. After that, I'm gonna have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, you'll go to pretrial for your bond conditions, and after that, you'll be free to go. When you come back, please have a lawyer, okay? All right.
Castro. Page 3.
Memorio Castro.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Castro, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On October 18th of 2024, officers were traveling at the 10900 block of Scarsdale Boulevard. When officers observed the defendant's motor vehicle driving on the rim, a traffic stop was conducted. Officers observed the defendant exit the driver's side of the vehicle. The defendant immediately stated he had been drinking and advised he had 5 16-ounce beers and told the officers he was drunk. As if the C's were refused at the time, officers detected odors of slurred speech, glossy red eyes, lack of balance, and moderate odor of alcohol in the breath on the defendant's person. The DIC was read, the defendant refused, and a blood warrant was signed and executed.
Mr. Castro, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license?
Yes, I do.
Do you have liability insurance in your name?
Yeah.
I do see that the driver's license is eligible and there's no criminal history, Judge.
Got it. Okay, Mr. Castro, you can drive as long as you have liability insurance and you have a valid Texas driver license. I am ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I will randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any illegal drugs, I will put you in jail, revoke your bond. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
How old are you, sir?
31.
What do you do for a living?
Service technician.
Okay, we're going to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, we'll get you to pretrial services to sign for your bond conditions. And after that, you'll be free to go. If you like your driver's license, find a lawyer quick. Don't wait a month or two because you're only hurting yourself.
Okay.
You understand?
Thank you.
Okay.
Flores. Page 4.
Morning, guys.
Enrique Flores. Mr. Flores, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
On October 19th of 2024, officers were dispatched to a residential home in Harris County, Texas, regarding a disturbance. Upon arrival, officers met with the reportee, who advised the defendant had just left the location in his vehicle. Moments later, officers observed the defendant arrive back at their original location in his vehicle. Upon contact with the defendant, officers observed signs of intoxication, namely bloodshot eyes and odor of alcohol in the breath from the defendant's person. SFSCs were administered, 6 out of 6 on the horizontal gaze and nystagmus, 5 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and 3 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. DICs were read. The defendant consented to blood. A blood draw was signed and executed.
Well, so there wasn't a traditional stop here. What happened?
There was a call from a witness regarding a disturbance. They stated, I don't know what that is. I can take a look at the specifics of that for you.
And then,
And they said the defendant just left in his vehicle. They observe him come back. It turns into a DWI when they observe him operating the vehicle, and they start talking to him, and he's got signs of intoxication.
something illegal in the car, some kind of traffic infraction?
No, Judge, I believe it's just they're investigating the disturbance, and it turned into a DWI after they observed him operating the motor vehicle.
What disturbance?
I can take a look, Judge.
Please. Did David Freeze check in?
No, Judge. Judge Burton?
So, Judge, it looks like the report initially indicated that there were threats made from the reportee, from the defendant to the reportee, and they believed that he was under the influence of alcohol and had just left in a vehicle. They observe him come back, and they observe signs of intoxication. They investigate the threats, and it turns into a DWI once they observe him operating.
So are they saying that they called because he was a
Because of the
DWI threat?
Judge. Yeah, both, Judge. Threats and possible DWI.
Mr. Flores, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. It's a prior deadly conduct. I'm trying to look into that and
Yes, Judge,
how
it looks
dangerous
like
of a
he took a
person.
Plea of guilty on 16 days county.
We have in 23 a felony assault, a deadly conduct where a knife is exhibited, and now we have this DWI where there's a reportee with potential family violence involved. Same complaining witness?
Different. The felony cases were a dating relationship. This case, it's immediate family, brother or father.
One more question.
Yes, Judge.
In the felony cases, any kind of alcohol or dope is an allegation, is
I can check for you. briefly,
parcel
Judge.
of the problem. You know, there are some people, Stand up.
Yes.
There are some people, when they drink, they become very happy people, like little bunnies jumping in the woods. And then there are those that when they consume alcohol or illegal drugs, they turn into a complete horns and not very nice people. If this is you, don't consume alcohol or illegal drugs. And I'm going to put a monitor on you to make sure that you're not consuming. If I find that you use anything, I'm going to lock you up, deem you a public danger, and make your bond sky high.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes, yes.
And Judge, yes, alcohol was a factor in the felony.
Both?
Yes, Judge.
You have a prior felony deadly conduct. You have a prior felony assault. One constant remains in all of those cases. What is that constant?
Alcohol.
Right. I'm going to put a monitor on your ankle so I know that you're not consuming alcohol. If you have a problem with drugs or alcohol, you better address it, because if you don't, I'm going to do it for you. And I promise you, Mr. Flores, you're not going to like the way that I do it. Do you understand? Do you have a Texas driver license?
Yes.
Can you run this license, please? Do you have liability insurance in your name?
And the vehicles that I have are,
Do you have
Yes, yes,
liability
yes, I-
insurance in
yes.
your name to drive any vehicle that you're using?
see, the vehicles that I have are for my workers. I don't have a vehicle right now. It was, somebody totaled it. So, sorry, I'm trying to make sure.
Do you have car insurance?
Yes,
When in your name?
yes,
You're not allowed to drive any vehicle that doesn't have your name on any kind of insurance on the car that you're driving. If I find that you do, likewise, I'm going to put you in jail.
Okay.
Do you understand?
yes, I am.
I'm only asking you to comply with the law. I'm not asking you to do quantum mathematics here.
The judge's license is currently eligible.
So I'm going to order a guardian interlock, and then, but we're going to put a scram on him. I'm going to pay for it for you so that there's no excuse for you. You must charge this battery on a constant and daily basis. If the battery dies, so does your bond. Do
Okay.
you understand?
Yes.
So you saw on this one that we're ordering a scram? Okay, 3 days to get, please, and waive the fee. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm first going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, you'll get with pretrial for your bond conditions. And after that, you'll be free to go. If you like your license, get on it quick. Don't wait a month or two to get a lawyer, because you're only hurting yourself. Please.
Garza, Garza on page 5.
Robert Garza. Mr. Garza, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
On October 19th of 2024, officers were traveling eastbound on the Sam Houston Tollway when he conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle after observing it travel at a high rate of speed, 99 miles an hour in a 65-mile-per-hour zone. Upon contact, officers observed the defendant as the driver and sole occupant of the vehicle. Officers observed signs of intoxication, namely slurred speech, odor of alcohol in the breath, and glossy eyes. The defendant admitted he was coming from a party where he had consumed a 6-pack of alcohol. As if STs were administered, 6 out of 6 on the horizontal gaze nystagmus, 4 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and 1 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. DIC was read, defendant refused. A search warrant was signed and executed for the defendant's blood. And Judge, there's no criminal history here and the license is currently eligible.
Okay. Mr. Garza, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Do you have valid liability insurance in your name?
Yes.
Okay. If I find that you drive like this at or above 99 miles an hour or something like that, I'm going to take away your privilege to drive. Do you understand?
Sir.
We have speed limits for a reason. We have on every day, someone dies in Harris County because of some kind of alcohol-related collision. Not on my watch. If I find that you drive like this again, no more driving. Understand?
Sir.
I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of dope, you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. I see that you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but you must stay in touch with Mr. Runcie, and he will tell you when you have to come back to court. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Don't pick up any new cases. Don't drink and don't drive like a complete. You understand?
Yes, sir.
I'll have you sign a resale of Victoria, and then we'll have you sitting back and wait for your lawyer to arrive. Please.
Gus, page 6. This one, Judge, was reinstated in open hours court.
Cameron Gus. Mr. Gus, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. Excuse me, you have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Officers in Harris County, Texas observed the defendant driving at a high rate of speed and attempted to gauge that vehicle's speed. As the officer pulled out to pace the defendant, he heard the defendant accelerate at a high rate of speed. Officers initiated emergency lights and began to pursue the defendant in an attempt to conduct a traffic stop, reaching speeds of up to 130 miles an hour.
130?
Yes, Judge, just to catch up to the defendant. While on the South Loop, the defendant turned off all of his lights in an attempt to escape police custody. After approximately 2.9 miles, the defendant pulled over, and him along with 2 other passengers were detained. While being detained, the defendant stated, quote, "I know what I did," and told officers that a handgun was in the vehicle. Officers found a black handgun on the driver's side seat, unholstered in plain view. Miranda rights were read, and defendant did admit to owning the gun. And this is connected to a felony evading, Judge.
And I see that it was discharged. What happened on that? And tell me, what initially led the cops to him? What was he doing wrong initially?
It looks like they had already observed him driving at a high rate of speed, but it doesn't look like there's a number that they paced him at. I believe that may
That's
have
why.
been the reason. Yes, Judge.
Fine. I mean, or look in the report.
I can check the report. for you,
Please.
Judge. Yes,
Because
Judge.
if they can't, if it's just conclusory, you know, what?
There's the way the report is read, it just says they observe him traveling at a high rate of speed. Do you mind giving me a couple minutes to call the officer before we make a ruling on PC? Or do you just want to make a ruling now? Because the offense report is very lacking. They might have.
No, I'm just gonna rule now.
I
You guys can just go re-indict it.
Yes, Judge.
You
I
know,
understand.
Mr. Gus, I'm gonna find no probable cause in your case, but let me alert you to one thing. You know, every single day, multiple people die in Harris County because people drive in a boneheaded manner. You know, we're not asking for much. We just want our streets to be safe. You know, I'm gonna find no probable cause now. But keep our streets safe. We're not asking for much. You know, when you're doing things that you're not supposed to do, bad things are gonna happen. Your life is hard enough as it is. When you pick up felonies and misdemeanors, all you're doing is you're making your life even more difficult. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I do.
Yeah, what do you do?
I'm a welder in the plant.
You're a welder, so you make great money. You want to throw your life away because of some stupid, you know? Make better decisions, all right? All right, hang tight for me. Just take a seat back. All right.
Hubler, page 7.
Now, if you were able to supplement it at a different time, and then that's with you guys, right? But,
Thank you.
yeah. And understand, you'll never hurt my feelings, right?
Yes, Judge.
Like, so. All right, good morning, Mr. Hubler. So this is Mr. Butler's client, right?
No.
I just have.
I know which one.
Who? That's it. Yes, okay, can we do that next? Is he here? Okay.
You checked in. Yeah,
Mr. Butler, we'll do yours next, okay?
Okay, Judge, thank you.
How many times has this dude taken off on us? Mr. Hubler, I'm sending you for a drug test right now.
I checked myself into an,
Stop. I'm sending you for a drug test now. You must come back. If you fail to come back or if you fail to take the test, I'm going to make your bomb so high you're going to have hair falling out. Do you understand? Take a seat. Don't leave. I see. James,
You want my approach?
tell me.
Judge, I'm approaching Mr. Hubler. He's in the jury box. He tested negative today, so that's some good news. And he's also checked himself into an inpatient drug rehab program with Salvation Army. And Mr. Hubler, Judge, I'm sorry, he's right there in the jury box.
Send him for a drug test, right?
Yes, Judge, he tested negative.
Come up, Mr. Hubler.
And Judge, I have an agreement with the state where if he completes that drug treatment program with Salvation Army and also gets employment and some residential information, that they'll dismiss the case. And so,
Good job testing negative.
so
Great. That's all we're asking you to do, man. Stay clean. That's all. I'm not asking you to split the atom here, you know? When you're clean, good things happen, you know? The other thing is this, is that you've taken off on us.
I did, sir. I didn't have a way.
Judge, can I explain that?
Here.
Judge, he was in Tomball at the time. He had no transportation. And he had, isn't that right, Mr.
Yeah,
Hubler?
I was homeless.
So today he walked from Salvation Army to here for court, but he just had no transportation, Judge. And he let me know that before court, that he couldn't get over here.
Yeah. There's no.
Why are you
excuse.
homeless?
Man, I screwed my life up. I had 3.5 years clean and sober. And I got.
All of a sudden you boom homeless? That doesn't happen.
No,
I mean,
I left the place up. My friends I was staying with, they were back on drugs, and we got into a big argument and fight. And
what do you have in your life now?
I have my family. We're just being. I know I was on drugs. My family doesn't accept that.
Good, as they shouldn't.
Exactly.
I don't want someone who's in my house all doped up. They're just, you know, when you're in a state like that, you're very vulnerable, right? You get angrier quicker. You have no patience. And the people who suffer the most are everyone around you when you're using. And it's not fair. And it's not fair for them to have to live with that kind of fear. Oh my God, is he using? What's going to happen today? Is he going to beat me up? Is he going to? No one wants to live like that. So it's only natural. You know what I mean?
I chose to be homeless in a sense. I pushed away from them.
Yes, of course.
I still have my family, thankfully. Now, since I did have clean and sober before, I got them back in my life and I pushed away. So
Where are you living now?
Right now, I'm at the Salvation Army living.
Why don't you go back home?
I want to finish this program. I want to get it right this time.
It's a 6-month inpatient drug treatment at the Salvation Army, Judge. And then he's planning to do a transitional living.
Yeah,
after that.
to make sure I get it right again, because I did it before and I had 3 years clean and sober, and I got injured at work, and I didn't think I was going to get my hand back, I had 3-4 surgeries to get my hand back functioning. And
Cognizant that you have a very, very addictive personality.
so
So when you get injured, even if it's something catastrophic, if they prescribe you painkillers, you need to have the wherewithal to know, okay, I can't take this. I'll take 4 Advil, or you take Motrin, something else, because you can't take benzos. You can't take it because it's just going to spiral out of control. There are a lot of people that they can take one and be done with it. And then there are others that,
I'm not one of them.
right. So what do we do?
So Judge, can we get a little bit of a longer reset so he can keep doing that program with Salvation Army, and then maybe we
I
can.
don't know, because I want to make sure that he's clean and sober, and I need to know that he's not using while he's out there. So I'm happy to give you a reset, but longer, I don't think that that's a wise thing.
Do you want to drug test him in 30 days, Judge? What is your thoughts?
They drug test me randomly there all the time.
How long of it, for this to work out for a dismissal, how long are we
Well,
talking?
it's a 6-month program he's doing, and then he's going to the transitional living facility.
Yeah, and they
And so,
drug test them
and there he's
randomly
planning
too.
to get employment, and I think that Michael wants proof of some sort of employment after he completes it.
You know, Michael, I'm on board with you. I think it's a great opportunity to dangle a dismissal for proverbial sobriety, right? But I think that, number one, we need to know that he's enrolled, because how do we know that he's enrolled? Other than his,
I can get some sort of
Could
paperwork.
you text that documentation to me and I can give it to the judge?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Here-
have to- Can you write your number down? Because
Sure.
I don't have my cell phone. They take your cell phone for.
in life, you're only as good as the proof that you have. If you don't have proof, you don't have anything.
I understand.
I'm not going to take your word for it. Like, I don't take anybody's word for it. I need proof. So, and I think that,
Judge, I will say I am proud of the defendant, because this is
and
the
we-
way he presents himself today, so different from his arraignment. It is so different. And I know he fled a couple times, but I think this is all stemming from his lack of sobriety. So this is why I made the offer that I made in
See?
this case.
good things happen when you're clean,
Yes,
right?
sir. Right.
So, let's do this. Let's set this off just a couple weeks. 2 weeks. I need proof that you're in the program. I need you to get it to James. Don't flake out on us again, because if you don't, no more PR bonds. You understand? So if you can show me the proof that he's actually enrolled before the next reset, I'll waive the appearance.
Yes, Judge.
Okay? And then you stay in the facility, just take it day by day, get it done. And then from there, we'll do like 30-day resets to make sure that he's in compliance with the program. He's still in it. If it gets too long and you get booted out or you're not doing it, I'm going to set your case for trial. So just stay with it. Good things will happen for you. Okay?
Thank you, Judge. I'll get a 2-week for now.
Good job, Mr. Okay, for sure.
Alright, Judge, next is page 20, Perez, come on up.
Yeah, and then we'll do Spanish. Yeah. Luis, let me just do this because I got the, good morning, Mr. Yepes.
Morning, Your Honor.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
On October 12th of 2024, officers conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's motor vehicle after observing it drive without lights when required at night on a public roadway. Officers also observed the vehicle displaying heavy front side window tint. Upon contact, officers noticed the defendant with signs of intoxication, namely very slurred speech, glossy eyes, strong odor of alcohol in the breath, and very poor balance. SFSTs were conducted, 6 out of 6 on the horizontal gaze and stagnus, 8 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and 3 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The defendant did admit to drinking. DIC was read, but the defendant refused. Officers obtained a blood warrant and that was signed. The defendant's previous DWI is from 2022 in Indian River County and Florida County, where he obtained a conviction of that.
Okay, just one prior DWI?
I do see just one, Judge.
And Your Honor, if I may jump in,
Sure.
this is the one that you found PC on yesterday.
Correct.
And so I want to tell you that my client has already jumped on the interlock device. He has an appointment tomorrow, Mr. Yepes?
It's Monday morning. off of
Monday
West-
morning.
Yes, sir.
So he's already on top of his game, Judge, on that. I did see that it's kind of weird, like he's got a bond that was set, but then like the case was dismissed for no PC before he ever had an opportunity to make a bond. So we're asking the court to grant him a pretrial bond.
I'm bond. Has he made one in the case?
No, Judge, it was released or no.
We do have a surety standing by, but under these circumstances, and of course, he flew here from Florida, so he's hired an attorney. He's taking care of his business. He does plan on.
What's your position?
Judge, just given the recency of the previous DWI, the state would be opposed to a PR bond and the
Oh, come on.
defendant's cases.
When was
Come
the
on.
other DWI?
2022, Judge.
That has nothing to do with his ability to appear in court.
There's also safety of the community, Butler, you know that.
Of course, I know that.
So, Mr. Yepes, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license?
I have a valid Florida driver's license.
Do you have liability insurance in
Sure.
your name?
Sure.
Okay. You're not allowed to drive unless you have both. I am ordering you now, and I'm putting a restriction on your license that you're not allowed to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an ignition interlock.
Sure, Your Honor.
If you're caught driving a vehicle that doesn't have an interlock on it, you will go to jail and your bond will go away.
Yes, Your Honor.
Make it high.
Yes, Your Honor.
Understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication.
Yes, Your Honor.
If I find that you're consuming alcohol, and I don't care where it is, where it's from, what it is, likewise, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you live in Florida, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Right. I have 3 children here in Houston. I have a business in Vero Beach where I was born and raised. So I commute back and forth. I'm here at least 2 weeks, a month, and have been since I was divorced.
So
7
you're
years ago.
here quite,
Yeah, I have 3 children that are all young. My daughter's a freshman at Memorial High School, so volleyball, I try to be as hands-on as I can be, but still be.
my only concern is this, is that you will be randomly called upon to take a drug and alcohol test.
Yes, Your Honor.
If they call you and you're in Florida, you will have to go to a Quest Diagnostics. If you're in Florida,
Yes, sir.
don't go to a Punka City lab. You have to go to a
Quest
Quest. That's a legitimate lab that we know does legitimate work. So it has to be a Quest. Get the result to Mr. Butler. Mr. Butler will get it to us so we know. If you fail to, if they call you and you don't take a drug test or you don't take the alcohol, whatever it may be, I will revoke your bond.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I will give you a PR bond now, but this is the only one I'm going to give you. I will not give you another one. If you
Sure.
violate conditions, you pick up a new case, drive when you're not supposed to, because it's very possible that you'll lose your license because of this. If you do, you may not drive.
Yes, Your Honor. I completely understand and I appreciate it.
Okay, now, I will, because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with Mr. Butler
Absolutely.
and he'll tell you if and when you have to come back to court.
Yes, Your Honor.
If Mr. Butler tells me that he can't get a hold of you,
My phone is
likewise,
on.
you know what
Yes, sir.
happens.
Yes,
We
Your Honor.
have great communication, Your Honor.
Yeah, I trust you, Mr. Butler. I know.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so for now, I will have you go to Victoria Center Reset. You will eventually have to meet with pretrial for all the conditions, and after that, you'll be free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So you already have the date, Mr. Butler, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I think we're good then.
All right. Thank you so much.
Sure. All right, thank you.
Have a
Thanks for coming.
wonderful Friday. Absolutely.
Take care.
Thank you.
The last name, counsel, in line, on the phone.
Nathan,
Go ahead.
It's Villa Gomez.
Gomez, Villa Gomez.
Villa Gomez.
All right, Judge, page 18.
okay. Oof. Oof, oof. 2,823 days old.
That's accurate, Judge.
Mr. Villa Gomez, come up.
Also, we need a motion to sub on that.
So before you leave, Nathaniel, we'll need you to do a motion to sub.
Aquí en el centro, por
Oh, I
favor.
did it.
Solo mire después, no me mire a mí,
So
le
will I
contestan
realize
solo en
that
español.
It's a motion sub, but I can do that. And Judge, we have this worked out with the state,
Tenemos
just so you
arreglado
know.
con el Estado para que solo mire el juez en la calle, que solo
Well, I
mire
don't know
la
because it's
cara
our
del juez.
probation.
Understood, Judge.
You know, all I know is that this case is older than, I mean, it's older than Jesus, man.
Lo que Jesús.
You know? Tell me about your compelling story.
Okay, Judge, so my client was born in the 70s here in Houston. He is a United States citizen. His parents took him to Mexico. He was raised in Mexico until he was a teenager. He came back to Houston when he was about 18 or so. In any event, he got this DWI charge in 2016. He pled to probation. He didn't understand all that was required of him. He went in, I think his first setting, and told them, look, I can't do that. I can't afford the probation. What I'd like to do is turn in this portable device and turn myself in. They said, we'll let you know. So I have gotten with your CLO, and she has confirmed that that was, I have the printout if you'd like to see.
Shatoria, what you got?
Yes.
Nathaniel, I'll take a look.
I went to meet with this probation officer the first visit. They were reviewing fees with the alcohol monitoring device.
Para su primera visita estaban en la noche pasando.
They didn't want to participate.
Pero dijo que no puede pagar, no quiere participar. Tiene que presentar el caso con el tribunal para hacer el caso. Fue respondido y después dio una MRP. No ha habido ninguna otra.
And so
Just decided he didn't want to do it and he left.
Well,
Quiso
so,
hacerlo y se fue entonces.
and Your Honor, my understanding is he went in to turn in the device. He had every intention of turning himself in at that point.
He didn't.
Well, they wouldn't take him because the MRP hadn't been drafted. Understood.
They
Judge.
tell you to come to court,
Cuando le dicen que
you
vengan
took off, and now 6 years later, you come back and you want mercy?
I think that he
Yo creo que él
had every intention
tuvo toda la intención
of coming and being square with the court.
y
It's just a matter of timing. The MRP wasn't drafted at the time. But I would say this, Judge. So in the ensuing 8 years, because I guess it's been 2016, 2024. In the ensuing 8 years, I have tax returns for all of those years. He has children ranging from 1 to 22 with the same wife. All of whom are well provided for. During that time, he has used his passport to travel to Mexico several times. He's never had any issues with Border Patrol. I have pictures of him attending his father's funeral earlier this year with the headstone with the 2024 date of death, with him in front of the oferta. He has done all of those things. He wasn't on the lam by any stretch.
Of course he is. What do you mean he's not on the lam? He's on the lam. There's a warrant for his arrest. I have no idea why no one would arrest him. I don't know, but it's now time. I mean, it's now time to pay the piper.
And so, Judge, it's showing we have a deal worked out with the state if the court is agreeable to it.
What is the deal?
So I can talk to you about the deal, Judge. Yes. So I looked at the probation. It looks like what I'm mostly concerned about is the defendant promised to pay restitution.
Oh, there's restitution on
Yes,
top of it.
Judge.
Oh,
Yes, Judge.
oh.
I indicated that if the court would bless the offer, I would offer a time served if he paid the restitution bill today.
No, he doesn't pay restitution. He's looking at he's looking at a year in jail. That's what's going on. If you don't pay restitution, you're looking at an entire year in jail. That's what's gonna happen. But you've been gone for 8 years and you want me to time serve this case? How much is restitution?
$546.
And his daughters are going to get the cashier's check pursuant to that right now.
And we made contact with the complainant. She confirmed she never got paid and she still wants payment. So we drafted a bill.
I would want payment too, but
Address. Yes, Judge.
I can't possibly do.
I can't emphasize enough, Judge, how at his first meeting, he said, I can't afford probation. It was his expectation that he'd be taken in now. So although my client is a citizen, the cultural understanding of you need to go wait for the formal MRP rather than him just showing himself up. So in the ensuing time, he has
formalización de MRP.
he has avoided trouble. This is his one and only time having been arrested.
Problemas es su
He has
única
taken
vez
care of
que
his
ha sido
children.
arrestado. Cuidado.
His children.
I'm
who
not
range in
going to
age.
reward him for doing things that he should be doing anyways.
debería de hacer.
If you have children, you have to take care of your children.
Hay que cuidar.
If you have a wife, you have to take care of your wife. I'm not going to reward you for doing things you should be doing anyways. You are charged with a DWI. You're facing a year in jail. You take off for 8 years and you want me to just a slap on the wrist? Life doesn't work like that. In life, there are consequences. And the consequence is when you fail to do what you're supposed to do,
Tiene que hacer.
you're looking at potential jail time. And in your case, you're looking at an entire year in jail. And it really would not be fair for me to just give you the proverbial slap on the wrist when you're gone for all this time, when everybody else does what they're supposed to do. And when they're here, they get time served, for doing what they're supposed to do. He's been gone for nearly a decade. I can't bless the time served, Nathaniel. As much as I love you and appreciate your tenacity, absolutely not. It's not fair.
No es justo.
And if he doesn't pay restitution, then he's going to be doing a substantial amount of time in jail. That's it.
Es así de
And
simple.
so
Entonces,
I would just reiterate, Judge, that he came in, it's not a traditional absconder case. He came in and said, I cannot afford this.
vino, yo
And
no puedo
then,
pagar eso y después
And then it's not years.
Well, he assumed,
Faltó
he
el-
showed up with the intention of turning himself in. So
llegó.
But he didn't.
his understanding
Pero
of what happened,
lo que pasó
is inaccurate, right?
no es algo
It has to be
perfecto de lo
staffed with the court and MRP has to
No.
be issued.
I want you to
Ahora
understand
hay
something.
problemas con MRP.
I'm not out, we're not out for blood, right? I'm not going to hit him with 6 months or anything like that. But he needs to understand that there's a consequence.
Es que hay consecuencias.
Right. And I think it's only fair
Lo que
and
solo-
that hopefully with the consequence, he'll understand that we mean business and you can't just take off for 8 years,
Que simplemente no se puede desaparecer
not
por-
expect something.
So what kind of an offer would
¿Qué
you
tipo de
give?
oferta?
30 days.
30 días de
With
cárcel.
restitution.
Con restitución.
If restitution is paid, if no restitution is paid, 365
Si
days.
no se paga la restitución, es 365 días de cárcel.
I hope you understand, we mean business, Mr. Villalobos. It's unacceptable that
Diego,
you
Mesecinas,
take off for 8 years and expect us to just turn belly up. Life doesn't work like that. And I'm not going to reward you
no lo
for
va
doing things that you should be doing anyways, which is being a good father.
a hacer cosas que debe hacer de todas maneras, lo cual es ser un buen padre.
You should be doing that anyways.
Usted debería estar haciendo eso de todas maneras.
Now, you can
Pero que ahora-
appreciate and understand that we mean business.
Que nosotros
So,
serios de esto.
I guess what we'll do is we can set up a hearing if you want. He can, if he wants to take it, and I'll certainly give him time to turn in.
Tiempo para que
So
No.
Judge, if we can,
si podemos
can it reset so that I can,
para yo poder
I was hired on this case yesterday.
So absolutely, I'm more than happy to give you time, of course, but
pero
I can't. It's not fair, Nathan. It's not, it really isn't.
en realidad no lo es.
So Shatoria, get ready for your hearing, please, just in case, and I can't imagine that the same probation officers is still there. So just get all the records you can and we'll go from there. And, I'll give you 3 weeks. If you want 3 weeks, we can come back and he either accepts it or we'll have a hearing.
Understood, Judge.
Yeah. Sorry, Nathaniel. All right.
Hacia la izquierda, por
Oh,
favor.
wait a second.
Un momento.
I'm now going to put a GPS monitor on you, so I know that you're not going to take off. And on your other ankle, I'm going to put another monitor to make sure you're not drinking. While you're on this probation, you're not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you have a Texas driver license?
Texas?
He does not.
No. Then you will also sign an affidavit with me today promising you're not going to drive. If I find that you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive.
Cada vez que usted maneje.
Do you understand?
Yo, señor. Tiene que hablar. Sí, señor o no, señor. Yes.
I know that you're upset, but I don't think it's unreasonable what I'm
Creo que es
doing,
algo fuerte.
Nathaniel. I know that you want to fight to the best for your client,
Le digo de
but
la mejor manera
I don't think it's unreasonable, that at the end of the day, with all the credit with all the time and the 3-for-1, you know, it's. Can you waive the fee for me, please, for the devices, guys?
No phones. See that, Bill?
I'm gonna have you come up here, swear to me that you're not gonna drive. After that, we will have you sign a reset with Victoria. After that, you'll get with pretrial for your bond conditions. Don't, if you take off on me again, so help me, I'm gonna make your bond so high. Don't take off.
No se
You must come
desaparezca.
back and you must not consume alcohol. Do you understand me?
Entendió, señor.
Sí.
Yes. A la izquierda. Allá.
Perez,
Mr. Petronia, come on in.
See whether you're amenable. My guy has 2 days credit. He requires another 8 to make 30 days. So if you're amenable to weekend reporting, it would enable.
There's no weekend reporting, is
As far
there?
as I understand, there's still no weekend reporting at all at the
Let me
moment.
look in, let me reach out to administration to see if there is. I don't think that there is because they don't have the manpower.
Because the problem my client faces is that he will lose his job if he were to do a consecutive 8 days. Friday to Sunday would enable him to keep his job because he works Monday to Friday.
Let me reach out and see if it's possible. If it is, I'll acquiesce to you, but I don't know for sure. Let me finish the arraignments and then we can talk. You can always zoom in and I'll ask for you. And I'll let you know, okay?
So
Give me a bit because I want to get through all this and then as soon as I'm done with the arraignments, I'll reach out to administration, see if we can, okay?
if I could approach, just to clarify something. So we're working on plea paperwork right now. I just wanted, so that my client can communicate to his employer when he'll be out. What is your intention in terms of when he turns himself in and because it occurs to me and your deputy recommended, if he does 2 Thursdays to Sundays, so like next Thursday to Sunday, the
I was
following.
gonna have him turn himself in by 6 p.m. today
Understood.
to start the weekend time. And then it just does whatever the weekends are.
Understood. So that would be 3 days this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then 2 more weekends, Friday, Saturday. Understood. Thank you, Judge.
I mean, that's the way I had envisioned it.
So
Now,
so he turns himself in 6 p.m. today, 700. Same
by
thing.
6 p.m., yeah.
Understood. Thank you, Judge.
Yeah. Mr. Villagomez, you know, I want you to understand that this is not a joke, that DWI is a very, very big problem in Harris County. We lead the nation in DWI fatalities. Around the country, every 39 minutes, I think the statistic is I saw somewhere, what, every 39 minutes, someone is dying from an alcohol-related collision. In Harris County, if you watch the news, every day, someone dies from an alcohol-related collision. And when you get on probation, we mean business. And if I were to let you go, saying, just to let you walk out of here today, that would be enabling you, telling you that, hey, it's okay for you to take off for 8 years, do nothing, and then just go on and live your life, when it's absolutely not okay. And we're going to hold you accountable. And this is the way that we do it, by putting you in jail. It's not fair to everybody else who gets on probation, everybody else who does well. They get a good result where you do nothing, walk out of here for 8 years and you get, it's not fair. No one is going to reward you for being a good father. It's what you do. I have 4 kids. I try to be the best father I can. I've got a 2-year-old that drives me up the wall. And even when days when I feel bad, when I get sick, do I get a day off? No, I never get a day off. Does anyone give me a reward for being a good father? No. The reward is hopefully they'll be successful adults in the future. So the reward is
La recompensa es
hopefully one day you will have good kids.
los hijos.
No one is going to reward you for being a good father.
Por ser un buen padre.
Now, here you've worked out an agreement where it's 30 days in jail, credit for 2 days that you've done. Your lawyer has remarkably convinced me to allow you to do weekends. I'm going to tell you now that in all the time that I've been on the bench, I have never done this, ever.
De hecho, nunca jamás.
And I don't know why I'm doing
No
it
sé
now.
por qué lo estoy haciendo
I
ahorita.
shouldn't be doing it now,
Hacerlo ahorita.
but I reluctantly will.
Luego,
Now, I don't know if the sheriffs will listen. They might not, and they may make you do all 30 days, I don't know, or whatever days you might have to do,
yes, tengo
with all the credit and everything. I don't know if they're going to comply with this. If they don't, they don't. But that's not on me.
Pero eso no depende
There's
de mí.
one person that needs to get blamed for this.
Tiene la culpa por
Don't
esto.
blame me.
No me culpe a
Don't
mí.
blame him. Don't blame them. You blame yourself. And I'm going to tell you now that there's two things.
Hay dos.
This now is a conviction on your record. So if you were ever in a car and you get pulled over, an officer will see that you have a DWI on your record. And if you have even the most remote smell of alcohol,
Tenga solamente
chances are you'll probably back here again. From now on, you will be facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The other thing that you will be required to pay
Otro que
for
estaría requerido,
is the fines and fees and surcharges. That's something that you're also going to be required to pay for.
tiene que pagar.
He did not have to wait last time, I checked,
So did they order him? Who?
but it was an order. They have to pay,
Is that something that we do now?
yes.
Okay, so you will be required to pay the fines and fees and surcharges. We will give you 2 years to pay,
Dar 2 años para poder.
but you'll be required to pay it. And if you don't pay it,
requerido
you will
pagarlo.
go back to jail. For every $100 that you owe,
$100
you will sit 1 day in jail.
estar un día.
And I hope with all this,
Creo que con todo
it's
esto,
enough to get you to understand. We're not out for blood,
no, estamos
but we want you to understand that we will not tolerate DWIs. Is it true or untrue that you violated your probation?
Yes.
I will find that it's true,
Okay.
and I will sentence you to 30 days in jail. I will give you credit for the 2 days that you've done. I'm going to suspend your license for 180 days. You did not incur a license suspension last time. So now, because your probation is getting revoked, you will incur a driver's license suspension.
Yeah.
I will sentence you to the time. I will allow you to do it on weekends. So you will have to turn yourself in by every Friday
Está bien.
by 6 p.m.
Antes de las 6.
And then they should let you out Sunday in the middle of the night, some give or take. There you go.
Yes, that's right.
So if you see her anywhere, it's not construction. No problem.
So he needs to initial these, right? Doesn't he need to initial these?
That's just your copy, everything else is on attorney.
Has he
Yes.
initial everything? Okay,
Yes.
good. Do you have any questions, Mr. Villagomez? Okay, all right, good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Judge, the next one is page 1, Bolivar, Gabby.
What page you say?
Page 1, top of page 1.
Morning, Ms. Bolivar. Do you speak English?
No. Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Luis, el intérprete, mucho gusto.
Bolivar, you're
después,
charged with
no le
theft,
contesta nada más el
facing up to 6 months jail
vamos a
and or a
robo,
$2,000
enfrentando 6
fine.
meses de cárcel y una multa
Under
de
due
$2,000.
probable cause, you have the right to remain silent.
Tiene derecho
Anything
a
you say
permanecer en
can or will
silencio.
be used
Cualquier cosa
against
que
you.
diga podría ir y sería usado.
You have the right
Usted
to have an
tiene derecho
attorney
a tener un
present.
abogado
If
presente.
you cannot
Si no
afford
puede
one,
pagar por su propio
one will be
abogado,
appointed to you,
será
ma'am.
nombrado para representar.
Officers were dispatched
Oficiales
to a
fueron
Walmart
despachados a un Walmart
in Harris County,
en condado de
Texas,
Harris, Texas,
in response to a
en
theft.
respuesta de un hurto robo.
The loss prevention
El
officer
oficial de
reporting
investigación encubierto
informed
reportó,
officers she
informó a los
observed the
oficiales que ella
defendant
observó que la acusada
skip scanning
faltó de
and
escanear
passing
y
points of
pasó de
sale
los puntos de venta
without attempting to
sin
pay.
acercarse, sin intentar de pagar.
When the defendant was
Cuando
stopped
la
by an
acusada fue
employee
detenida por un empleado
to examine the
para
receipt,
examinar el recibo,
the employee
el
discovered
empleado se dio
merchandise
cuenta, descubrió mercancía
not on the
que
receipt,
no estaba en el recibo,
concealed inside of a large
escondido
plastic bin.
dentro de un contenedor de plástico grande.
The items included
Los
men's,
artículos eran
women's, and children's clothing.
vestimenta de hombre, mujer y de niños.
I'm trying to get your amount for you, Judge.
That's what I was wondering, the value.
Let me check.
Valor.
$640.95.
$640.95.
That's a lot. Ms. Bolivar, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Tell me, are you United States
Ciudadana
citizen
americana, mire el juez. ¿Usted es ciudadana americana?
No.
No.
in this
¿Usted
country?
está en este país con permiso o sin permiso?
Con permiso de migración.
¿Con permiso de qué?
De migración.
With immigration's permission.
I don't know if you are or not.
No sé si los
Quite
están o
frankly,
no, pero
doesn't matter to me.
francamente no importa.
But I am going to impart to you that if you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail,
Una cárcel.
immigration will find you. They will put a detainer on you. You will sit in custody until this case is over with and then shipped off to immigration and wait another 6 to 9 months in immigration to do whatever they're going to do. So I would be very careful. I am ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to go to any Walmart for any reason. You said Walmart, right?
Yes, sir.
Walmart.
Do you
¿Usted
understand?
entendió, señorita?
Sí.
Yes.
This is a bond conditions. If I find that you go to Walmart, or if you pick up any more criminal cases, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds.
Otra fianza personal.
Okay.
What do you do for a living, ma'am?
¿Qué se dedica usted, señora?
No trabajo porque estoy embarazada.
I'm not working because I am pregnant.
Are you married?
¿Eres casada?
No.
No.
How do you survive? How do you eat?
Sobrevive, ¿cómo come?
Estoy con, no soy casada, tengo mi pareja, pero no soy casada.
Okay, well, I'm with my partner, but I'm not married to him.
Okay, so do you live with your partner?
¿Vive con su pareja entonces?
Sí,
Yes.
Works?
¿Su pareja trabaja?
sí.
Yes.
What does your partner do?
¿A qué se dedica su pareja? ¿Qué trabaja?
Barbera.
He's a barber.
How much money does he make a
¿Qué
month?
tanto dinero gana él por mes?
2000.
2,000.
Do you have any other income from any other sources?
¿Alguna otra fuente?
No.
No.
Did you want to apply for an
¿Es
appointed
solicitar un
lawyer?
abogado
ma'am?
de oficio para que le ayude?
Por favor.
Please.
I'll have you fill out an application. I'll have to take a look whether you qualify. Are you wearing a Rolex watch?
¿Tiene un reloj Rolex, señorita?
No.
No.
Is that a Rolex?
No.
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 I'll have you fill out an application. I'll take a look to see whether you qualify or not. Be that as it may, don't go to any Walmart.
No vaya a ningún
This is
Walmart.
the only warning you will get from me. Do you understand? Okay. Don't leave until you sign our bond conditions as well. Can you file no going to Walmart, please?
Yes.
No going to Walmart. Man, that looked like a diamond encrusted Rolex, you know? I'm like, come on.
It looks like a day justice.
Man, we've had people here with Gucci decked out and they want an appointed lawyer, you know? Come on. Gucci, Gucci, goo.
Counsel, do you have a consent, arraignment?
Yes.
Who is it? Yeah. Last name? Last, Owen? All right, page 12, Judge Owen,
Okay.
come on up.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Judge.
Matthew Owen. Charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. Bless you. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On October 19th of 2024, officers patrolling the 1100 block of West Main Street conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's motor vehicle after observing it signal a right turn, but turn left, making a wide left turn into the wrong lane. Upon making contact with the defendant, they observed he was the driver and sole occupant of the motor vehicle and observed signs of intoxication, namely moderate odor of alcohol in the breath, red bloodshot eyes, and slurred speech. SFSTs were conducted, 6 out of 6 on the horizontal gaze nystagmus, 7 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and 2 out of 4 on the one leg stand. The DIC was read, the defendant consented to breath, and the breath results were 0.114, 0.109. And this defendant has no criminal history with an eligible driver's license.
Okay. Mr. Owen, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have valid liability insurance in your name?
Yes, sir.
As long as you have both, you can continue to drive, but I am ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I will randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand? You have a lawyer. Good job on having a lawyer. Because you do, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with him and he'll tell you if and when you have to come back to court. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand? For now, we'll have you go to Victoria Sign and reset. After that, we'll get you with pre-trial for your bond conditions, and after that, you're free to go. All right?
Thank you,
Thanks,
Judge.
guys. Please. Yeah.
Jonathan, Eric, page 8.
Eric Johnson. Mr. Johnson, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. Going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
Officers were dispatched to a minor crash in Harris County, Texas. The complainant advised she was driving west when she observed the defendant driving in the opposing lane of traffic down the road. The complainant swerved to avoid the defendant, but her car was still struck by him.
So she's oncoming?
Yes, Judge. She followed the defendant down the side of the road until his car hit a median and it stopped. Officers arrived on scene. The defendant was asleep behind the wheel with the engine running and keys in the ignition. The defendant did admit to drinking at a bar. The defendant was detained, and when officers attempted to remove the cuffs, the defendant fell backwards into the officer's arms. Officers then observed signs of intoxication, namely odor of alcohol in the breath and bloodshot eyes. SFSTs were conducted, 6 out of 6 on the horizontal gaze nystagmus, 5 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and 2 out of 4 on the one leg stand. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to breath. The breath results were 0.120, 0.117. And this defendant has no criminal history. His license is currently suspended.
Find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. You have a Texas driver license. Not allowed to drive, and making that a condition of your bond. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising you're not going to drive. I don't care what's going on in your life. You know, that's how most collisions and deaths occur head on oncoming traffic. You're lucky. So, I mean, they're charging people with murder now when people die as a result of this. Do you understand? Get the hint. No more alcohol, no more dope, and I'm going to test you. If I find that you're consuming anything, any alcohol, any illegal drugs, I'm going to put you in jail. If you have a problem, you better address it, because if you don't, I'm going to do it for you, Mr. Johnson. It's the only warning that you will get. Do you understand? This is an affidavit that you're signing with me today. I don't care what your reason is. You cannot justify getting in a car for any reason. Do you understand? How old are you, Mr. Johnson?
Sure.
What do you do for a living? Speak louder.
Work at Little Caesars and make videos.
Okay. What do you do at Little Caesars?
I just became the manager.
Great. Good job. Just do a good job. Put your heart into it. Who knows, before soon you may own a store. How much money do you make a month, sir?
A month. About 1,100.
Who do you live with?
My mother. My mother.
Okay. Did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer, sir?
Yes.
Oh, come on. Are you your mom?
Yes.
Come on up, Mom. Thank you so much for coming. Did you hear?
Oh my God, I did. I didn't know.
Just keep an eye, please. I don't want to have to
I
keep
got
an
him.
eye on him for you.
He's a good kid. He doesn't get in trouble. He doesn't do anything.
Let's not talk, I don't want to talk about the case, right? But just, in life, sometimes you hit a brick wall. It's not the end of the world, but hopefully it's enough of a wake-up call to get you to understand that you're lucky, number one, to be alive. You're lucky to be here standing with us now. And you're lucky even more so to be not charged with something even greater upstairs, right? Count your lucky stars because it could have gone a lot worse. You have a mom, she cares for you. Just take care of it. Okay. I'll have you fill out an application for an appointed lawyer today. We'll have you talk to someone. I've ordered him no alcohol, no drugs, no driving until you get a license and liability insurance. If you can get a license and liability insurance, it doesn't matter. If you don't have a license, do you think, even if he gets into an accident, if he doesn't have a license, do you think the insurance company is going to cover you? No, you don't have a license. You're not supposed to be driving.
Issue him insurance then.
No, but insurance companies are in the business of denying claims. They don't like to give out money, and they're going to use any excuse that they can find to not pay out because that's the business that they're in. If you don't have a license, they're going to say, well, you're not supposed to be driving anyways. We're not going to pay it out. I don't know why they would take it.
They charge him $3-something a month. I mean, they
I
knew
don't
he
know.
didn't have a license.
But look, don't drive until you get a license. It is your responsibility. Do you understand? Okay. I'll have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to get a license. They're going to give you an application. Hold on. I need you to sign a reset with Victoria. After that, you'll get pre-trial for your bond conditions, and then we'll have you wait in the jury box, okay? Thank you for coming, Mom.
Loria. Page 8.
Hello.
Crystal Longoria. Ms. Longoria, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. Okay.
This is really bad timing, Judge. My internet's not working.
Sure.
Just when I get up here.
see a prior GOB as well, or just one PR bond on Longoria?
PR bonds.
So this is, but this is the second one now.
Crystal,
Yes.
so officers, we're undergoing a prosecution investigation. While speaking with the defendant, officers found the defendant had a misdemeanor. Sorry, Judge. On March 25th of 2024 in Harris County, Texas, officers were dispatched to a disturbance. Officers met with the CW. CW and the defendant were in a dating relationship but are broken up. The defendant came to the CW. CW said no. They got into a verbal argument. The defendant slapped CW and punched her, causing pain.
So she slapped and punched?
Yes.
Where?
I can look at the dims. It says the defendant slapped her with an open and closed fist and then fled the scene. The CW said that they felt pain and discomfort, but it doesn't say where the slap happened. I'm pulling up the offense report, Judge,
Yeah.
to see if
Me.
that says more. Okay. On the left side of her face.
You know whether this complaining witness wants to continue to have contact with her?
I'm looking at the notes, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Longoria, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. There's a protective order that has been issued in this case. I will get to know it because if you violate this protective order, the state can and will file additional charges against you. Things will go sideways real quick. So at this point, I'm going to order you not to have contact until I know that he wants to have contact with you. I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of any weapons as well.
Yes, sir.
If you violate these orders, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. This is your second PR bond because you've taken flight on us one time before. Again, no more. Do you understand?
Understand.
How old are you, ma'am?
I'm sorry, I can't hear from this ear.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
What do you do for a living?
Right now, I just do makeup on the side. I just had a baby, so I don't do anything.
Judge, the defendant does have a conviction for bail jumping in 2022. And in regards to the last question that you asked, we have not been able to successfully make contact with the complaining witness, so I don't.
Where's the bail? Because I don't even, is that must be out of county because I don't see it.
It's in Cameron County, Judge, and she did TDC time on that. She did 2 years TDC on felony bail jumping.
Any other prior assaults against this person that you see?
No, Judge, not in Harris County. At least.
One more question. Any alcohol or dope as an allegation?
Let me check.
How much money do you make a month, man?
I make at least 600.
600?
Yes.
Okay. Did you?
I do have something I can say. I am struggling right now with the drug problem, with the drug addiction.
So I'm ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs.
That's fine.
And when we test you, if I find that you're using, I'm going to put you in jail and I will put you in a rehab facility.
I understand.
Don't use. Do you understand?
Completely.
And the offense report doesn't mention alcohol or drugs specifically.
I'm gonna work it regardless now.
And I'm sorry, Judge, I was reading the DIMS at first for another case and then I switched over, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will provide you a lawyer today, ma'am. Understand, under no circumstance. Nope, at all. Do you understand? You need to also understand one thing, ma'am, is that you have a pen trip. Anytime you are charged with a serious felony offense, they can use that pen trip to make you a 15 to life case. When you have 2 pen trips, you're labeled as a true habitual. And in that instance, it's a minimum of 25 to life when you're charged with a serious felony. So when you're out there in the free world, you got to behave yourself, because if not, you could be on the upwards of, at a minimum, 15 years. Do you understand? So guys, no alcohol, no drugs, random urinalysis, no weapons, no contact for now, okay? All right, let me see if I have an application. I have an application already, so we don't need you to fill one out. I'm just gonna have you sign a reset. I'll have you meet with pretrial. They're gonna have you sign for your bond conditions, and then we'll have you take a seat while we wait for a lawyer for you.
Thank you.
Okay?
Martin?
More time, ma'am.
No. Page 9.
Is it Martin?
Martain, Martain, sir.
Mr. Martin, you're charged with evading arrest or detention. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On 9/19/2024, an officer in full uniform driving a fully marked vehicle observed multiple people loitering in front of Siesta Mart in Harris County, Texas. Officer parked in front of the store and the defendant began to quickly walk to the south of the building. Officer told the defendant to stop, but the defendant began to run when he got to the corner. Defendant ran to an apartment complex and the officer lost sight.
That's it?
No, Judge. The officers established perimeter canine.
Wait, but even, what's he doing wrong?
It just says he was
Standing
loitering.
flat.
It just says he was loitering, Judge. I'm trying to see if
So-
there's more.
No, no,
detail.
I don't think so. I'm gonna find probable cause.
Okay, Judge.
Dude, be careful, man. You know, life's hard enough as it is.
Judge, I just got out of prison from that block. I understand how it works.
You know, all right, just hang tight for me, will you?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Munos? Page 10. Bolivar? Munoz, Kamala?
Miguel Munoz.
Yes.
Munoz, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon in a prohibited place. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir. Please have a seat, sir. Okay.
An officer was working an off-duty job at a bar in Harris County, Texas, when he observed the defendant walk into the bathroom. The defendant dropped a handgun from his waistband directly in front of the officers. The defendant immediately picked up the gun and attempted to walk away from officers. Defendant was aware that he was not permitted to bring the gun inside due to signs posted in both English and Spanish at the entrance of the business.
You're on bond for a felony assault and now you have a weapon?
I was just placed on bond.
Stop, don't talk about the case. All I'm gonna tell you is that I gotta imagine one of the bond conditions on your felony case is for you not to have a weapon. I'm gonna find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case, Mr. Munoz. I'm now going to have you sign an affidavit with me today promising me that you're not gonna have any weapons. If I find that you have a weapon, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months every time you have a weapon. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming any kind of alcohol or drugs, likewise, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Sure.
Bless you. Mr. Munoz, what do you do for a living?
I'm a handyman. I work on cars and houses. I just had an injury about on the 6th of this month, October.
What happened?
I was remodeling a house because I had just had a kid, and I was remodeling the house and I tripped and landed on my hand.
Okay. Are you still able?
No, actually, the officers at that time, when they arrested me, I told them that I had a hurt arm and they refractured it.
No, I'm sorry to hear about that. You want to apply for an appointed lawyer?
I was trying to see if I could get some time to come up with some money to pay for a lawyer.
Sure, of course. Yeah. If you want, if you have any issues, come back and then we can talk about it.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you 30 days and then you can see about hiring counsel. But what I would do is I would do it really quick because you're on bond for a felony case and it's very possible that when they get wind of this, they revoke that bond upstairs. So don't sit and wait. It's something that you need to get on quick. I'm going to have you come up here, sign an affidavit, say promising us you're not to have any weapons. I'll have you sign a reset with Victoria. Then I'm going to have you get with them. No dope, no alcohol. Do you understand? All right. And then after that, we'll let you go. And when you come back, please have a lawyer. Okay. All right. That way. For sure.
12, Perez.
But Nathan, of course, I'd like to help you so he doesn't lose a job. I just don't know if it's possible. If it is, I'll acquiesce to you.
Understood, Judge.
Yeah. Okay. Joe Perez.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Mr. Perez, you're charged with criminal mischief. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or bless you. Up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On August 23rd of 2024, officers were dispatched to a Chevron gas station in Harris County, Texas, in reference to criminal mischief. Officers made contact with the complaining witness, who stated that the defendant was at pump 2 and complained that his card was not working. The complaining witness stated he went outside with the defendant and saw that 25 cents had been pumped, then the transaction was canceled. CW told the defendant that he would have to use the card again to start another transaction. The defendant became irritated and the complaining witness made his way back into the store. The defendant followed him into the store, asked for $30 on pump 2, went out to his motor vehicle and began to pump gas. The defendant entered the motor vehicle with the pump still attached. $30 had been completed on the pump, then the defendant left without attempting to remove the pump, causing the pump and the hose to be separated from the in-ground meter. There were $500 in damages.
Did he mean to do it or was it an accident? Because remember, this is a specific intent crime. You didn't tell me anything that he's like upset to where he intentionally took off with the device.
I understand, Judge.
You know?
I'm just reading based on what the offense report said. It says the complaining witness did not see him even attempt to remove the pump.
I know, but people forget, you know, you're busy, you get this, like, you know, accidents happen, right? But if you're telling me that he's like flipping it off, giving him the bird, yelling at him, and then he just, but I don't see the intent.
Let me see if there's anything more. I pulled up the offense report.
There's no rush. Take your time. And if you want, we can come back and do this a little bit later so we can do everything else and then give you more time. You want to do that?
I'm looking through it, Judge, and I don't see that. We can come back to it.
Okay, sir, I'm just gonna have you take a seat. I'm gonna do a deeper dive in your case just to see if there is probable cause. If you just don't mind, please take a seat in the jury box and we'll come back.
I say something.
No, don't.
Yes,
You
sir.
have the right to remain silent. Exercise the right, please.
Randall, page 14.
This one?
No, that I put a sticky note up there on top of the drawing.
Okay, let me.
Randall.
Hey.
Page 14.
Are you Carson Randall?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Randall, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On October 19, 2024, officers arrived to the scene of a minor accident, 18311 block of Fensby Road. The officer observed the defendant, who was the sole occupant of the motor vehicle, exit the vehicle that crashed into a pond. Upon contact with the defendant, officers detected an odor of alcoholic beverage and bloodshot eyes on the defendant's person. The defendant admitted to drinking and operating the vehicle on public roadway. SFSTs were refused, DICs were read and refused, and a search warrant was signed and executed. The defendant has no prior criminal history. He has an eligible driver's license, and he is 17 years old.
Are you here with anyone today, Mr. Randall?
Yes, sir, my mother.
Come up, Mom.
Just confused.
Don't stop.
Yes.
Don't say anything. Good morning, Mom. Did you hear what happened?
Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Did you hear what happened? No. Would you like to hear? Okay, can you read it again? But a little bit louder so she can hear.
Yes, of course. On October 19th of 2024, officers arrived to the scene of a minor accident in the 18311 block of Fensky Road. Officer observed the defendant, who was the sole occupant of the motor vehicle, exit the vehicle that had crashed into a pond. Upon contact with the defendant, officers detected an odor of alcoholic beverage and bloodshot eyes on the defendant's person. The defendant admitted to drinking and operating the vehicle on a public roadway. SFSTs were refused, DICs were read and refused, and a search warrant was signed and executed. He doesn't have any prior criminal history. He does have an eligible driver's license, and he is 17 years old.
You said they did do field sobriety tests, or
No, they were refused, Judge.
everything was refused?
Everything was refused, yes.
Okay, so Mr. Randall, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you.
Yes, sir.
If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of illegal drugs, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Mr. Runcie, coming up. This is your client, Mr. Randall. Good timing. So I have just found probable cause, essentially accident, gets out, odor of alcohol, other indicia of intoxication, refuses all tests. Did you say they did get a blood warrant, right?
Yes, Judge.
So they've taken blood. Don't know the results. It takes time to get the results of the blood. Regardless, I'm ordering you, like I said, not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I will randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a Texas driver license?
Yes, sir.
Do you have liability insurance in your name?
Yes, sir.
You're allowed to drive if you have both of those things. If your license gets suspended, you may not drive.
Yes, sir.
Any prior DWIs or any prior alcohol contacts? Okay. Questions, Mom? Just keep a watchful eye. No more going to parties. If I find that you're going out and going to parties because you're 17, think you're invincible, not anymore.
Yes, sir.
You understand? What you do now will impact you for the next 40 years of your life. And the more convictions you get, the only thing you do is make life more difficult. It's already hard as it is. And when you start racking up convictions, no one wants these kind of people working for them.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
So make the most of it because you only get one chance. This is the only warning that you will get from us. All right. So for now, we'll have you sign a reset with Victoria. I'll have you get with pretrial for your bond conditions. And after that, you guys are free to go. Oh, you have a lawyer. I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with counsel and he will tell you if and when you have to come back to work. If he tells me that you're playing games and you're not responding to phone calls, text messages, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Don't pick up any new cases as well. All right. Okay, guys.
Thank you, Your Honor. I also have Robert Garza on docket today.
That way, guys. I have Mr. Freeze, come up in the jury box, please. We took care of your other guy earlier. What was the name?
Robert Garza.
Yeah, I just, same thing, just, we found PC, no alcohol, no drugs, random UAs, and that's it. So I think he may be, and that's him right there in the box, yeah, okay.
No. And
But I don't, have you signed conditions with? Okay, so he can go with you, but he's got to come back so we don't miss him to sign conditions.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Judge, which was the one that you found no PC on right before the? I accidentally.
Martain.
Martain, that's what it was, yes. Thank you, Judge.
Hi, Ms. Scheibel.
Good morning, Huer. It's been a while.
Hi, yeah. Do you have an arraignment?
No. I can wait.
Okay, just chat me what you got, and then as soon as we're done with arraignments, I'll hit you up, okay? For sure.
Page 1 now.
Page 1, what? Going backwards, man. Good morning, Ms. Brown. Ma'am, you're charged with prostitution. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, ma'am. Okay.
Officers are conducting an undercover vice investigation at a hotel in Harris County, Texas. The defendant began messaging officer and asked how long he would need with her. Officer told her 1 hour, and the defendant agreed to come to officer's location for a fee of $500 plus an Uber ride. Once the defendant arrived at the hotel, she told officer that she was in the lobby. Officer escorted defendant to the elevator and stated, so $500 to fuck, right? And defendant responded, yes. Once inside the room, officer gave defendant $500, which she took.
And then they went in, and then the bust happened?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Brown, I'm gonna find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Would you like an appointed lawyer, ma'am? Okay, I'm gonna appoint your lawyer. I'm making it a condition of your bond not to engage in this conduct anymore. Don't. Now's not the time. I'll give you a lawyer and you can talk to the lawyer, but no more. You'll be signing conditions. If I find that you continue with this behavior, I'll put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand? I like your shirt. That's an interesting shirt. So I'll have you sign. Let me see if I have I need you to fill an application for me, but I'll appoint you someone today. She's going to give you an application for you to fill out. I'll have you sign a reset with Victoria, and then we'll have you take your signature in the box. Okay?
Thank
Please.
you.
Can you file conditions? No, like behavior.
Oh my. There's a whole nother hour and 45 minutes to that docket, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, the hoodie said BLKG. Black Jew, I would guess. But, yeah, credit to the judge for being cool about the hoodie. That was kind of cool. So look, tomorrow we're gonna watch the other hour and 45 minutes, but I just couldn't bear to do it all in one sitting. Yeah, that's it for tonight. I'll be back live at 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow at lunch, morning, brunch, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna be watching some Kansas court. We're gonna be watching the rest of this hour and 45 minutes of the Judge Fleischer Friday docket. There's still some good stuff left. There's some actually really good stuff. Mr. Freeze's case is very interesting, and the conclusion to the question of whether or not the guy was criminally mischief for pulling off from the gas station. We'll find that out tomorrow too. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun. Chat's been great. I look forward to all these little get-togethers. Gas pump guy is interesting, I have to admit. We'll have another one in the morning, not long from now. Practically 12 hours away. So get some rest. get some breakfast, make some coffee, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Thank you for showing up, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a good night.